Good Tuesday morning.
Somebody's feeling good.
Somebody's annoyed today, folks.
Really. Could be any one of about 20 things.
No, I hate people with an astronomical amount of talent that are quitters. It bothers the heck out of me. We'll get into that. Bruce Cooper's joining. I wonder what his thoughts are going to be later on in the show as well. But it's going to dominate the show, folks, because I'm pissed off about it. We need to talk about it. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and 17-year NFL veteran. I wonder if he had anybody just not show up for a game out there with his 3-time Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys as well. Folks, he went to the AFC Championship game with the Bills. Sat on the bench on the injured list on the Raiders for a year before he went to the Cowboys. At SMU, they were paying money left and right. Some guys turned him in because they didn't get playing time. And those guys probably still showed up to practice and games, probably. Dale Hellestrae's here, everybody.
Boy, oh boy. You got a lot of energy. I feel the negativity, but before we get into all that, I have more stress than the Diamondbacks.
This is funny. You're willing to pay somebody to go do this for you, folks.
So I had to turn my car in. There were some things that needed to be done to it.
You took it to the shop.
Yeah, and to the dealership, and they gave you a loaner car, and it's fine. Everything's fine.
Oh, so you have a loaner out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not your key.
Everything's fine, except the keys are somewhere in there, and I can't find them.
Maybe the new cars don't have keys anymore.
No, they handed me one. I put it in my pocket at one time. I had to take it out. Last time I remember holding them, I picked Graham up from school yesterday. Again, it's a loaner car, so I'm like, I thought that when you put it into park, all the doors open. Well, the back right one where he gets in doesn't open. So now I'm scrambling for my keys to try and hit unlocks. I don't know where the unlock is in the car. Finally get it unlocked. Meanwhile, there's people behind me, in front of me at the pickup line.
And you don't mess around with the pickup line. People lose their mind.
Yes, they do.
Because then, did you have to get out? Because then if you even open the door, people freak out.
Well, I opened the door because I thought, okay, that'll open all the doors. Nope, that didn't do it either. And the last thing I remember was opening the door inside the car. Get to Hillary and Scott's house, drop him off, go inside to hang out with Avery for a little bit. I'm like, I don't have the keys. Oh, they have to be right here. No. So I had to park the car outside last night. Keys are somewhere in it.
Why'd you have to park the car outside? Oh, because you... Wait. Oh, you forgot your garage opener, didn't you?
No, I got my garage door opener. But
that's what I always forget. Every time I go take a car in someplace, I'm like, grab the garage door opener.
Yeah.
And then I get halfway home and I go, dang it, I forgot the garage door opener.
Yeah. And so there's somewhere in there I've offered a Find Seekers Award to young Ethan.
With clean eyes.
With young 18-year-old eyes.
Yeah.
And I got so mad yesterday. They have to be right here.
I've been that way before. And it's fun. I've been that place where I'm like, I'm afraid to turn the car off because I might not be able to restart it. You know, and you're 30 miles from the house or something, and you're like, what if they're sitting on the desk at the house? And it was close enough to fire up. That's stressful, man.
But I mean, I drove to Hillary and Scott's house, drove home, drove here.
It's when you turn it off. If you have it on and you lose them, it stays on. At least my cars have in the past.
Well, I turned it off last night, got in this morning, it started. So they're in the car.
Yeah, they're in there somewhere. That's hilarious.
Oh.
And they're probably black, like the floor matting or whatever.
Yeah, it matches inside. And I'm like, Ketel Marte, that's monkey business compared to my damn keys for crying out loud.
All I'm going to say, Dale, is you can't find your car keys on the loaner yesterday, and you're frustrated as all heck. We've all been there. You're like, what? I know it's right here. You can't find it anywhere. All of that's happening to you.
Yeah.
You still showed up today.
I did show up today. Now, I thought about calling in.
Well, but here's the difference. You would have called in. You would have sent a text going, I can't drive my car. I don't have a car to get there.
I'd have called in and said, Steve, I think I'm going to be there.
You would have at least let me know and given me a heads up. and not just not showing up.
Therein lies that rub.
Not difficult, folks. In today's, it's not like the old days where you had to go find a payphone someplace or beg somebody to use a phone and dial a number to call somebody. A little easier nowadays.
Well, maybe he left his cell phone in Atlanta.
Or maybe left it in the Dominican Republic.
Ooh. No, they said he's in the hotel.
Well, Tori said he didn't know. We have had some insights since last night. I woke up this morning to find out because we knew he was there. He was on the plane right there.
Explain to the people who did not hear it.
He didn't show up.
Cattell Marte
just didn't show up to work yesterday.
And it all became a thing because 8 minutes before the game, the lineup card still wasn't in.
And it wasn't in.
Yeah.
And then they put out Fernandez is now with the team, and Marte's on the reserve list. And a lot of
restricted.
I think it's reserved is what they call it, but it's a restricted list. But basically, a lot of people don't know what that list is.
Right.
That list is for people that legal issues and they can't play. You don't have to, but you can withhold their paychecks from them while they accrue time, all that. It's a punishment list. Unless it's something to do with like non-baseball stuff, like you have serious family issues.
Right.
And you got to go deal with that. That's that list is for. But the more even on the broad, and then so the lineup's out 7 minutes before game time yesterday, and you're going, what is happening? So your first thoughts are you hope everything's good, safe, whatever. But the longer the game went on with the broadcasters going, again, we don't know anything about this. If it was a personal matter, I firmly believe the Diamondbacks would have said, Cattell Marte woke up this morning, has a personal issue that we will not discuss with anyone. He's handling that today, and we will have more information as we get to it later today, tomorrow, whatever the situation is. Dale, they didn't do any of that.
Nope.
They didn't do any of that. So that just sets the stage to what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, and you could tell the emotion on Tori Lovello's face.
I'm torn on what the emotion meant. I think I know what the emotion meant, but I'm torn on it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that coming up as well for that. But bottom line is, I get it. Marte fans, you love him to death, and he can do no wrong to you. I get it. Coming at me on the social medias isn't going to help my opinion of the situation. The bottom line is whether it's personal issues, whether he just didn't want to play yesterday, whether it's whatever it is inexcusable to not reach out to somebody and let them know.
Inexcusable.
Completely.
And especially for a guy who's done this before.
And then you find out, Dale, that's the problem. He did this last year in the Dominican.
Yeah.
He was there. He wouldn't respond to anybody. And then they send a text threatening suspension. And all of a sudden he starts texting galore. Oh, I'm in the Dominican. When they threaten suspension on him. It's complete. That's the bottom line here. Regardless of the reason, zero excuse not to reach out to somebody and talk to him.
Well, here's one other thing that I learned about that last year thingy. Was when he finally answered the phone from whoever it was that he picked the phone up for, they could tell by something in the phone records that he was in the Dominican.
Yeah.
He hadn't told anybody.
No, yeah.
And when he answered it, and I didn't know that, it's like there's a lot of things that I know I didn't know real quick. I didn't know this. This happened a couple years ago.
Technology, Dale.
An Evite. I didn't know if somebody sends you an Evite and you read it and you get it, you open it, and you don't respond to it.
It shows you opened it.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't know that.
That's why those things are dangerous. That's why I have so many unopened emails. I don't open an email or a text unless I'm planning on looking at it because it can go back to them. Yeah. There's ways to do that. Even if you turn it off, it can still go to them and stuff like that. Yeah, no, it's the bottom line is that keep this in mind throughout the whole discussion throughout the show today. The bottom line is whatever the situation is, you have to let somebody know. You can't just ghost people and disappear. Then we're finding out 98.7's doing this reporting. I saw somebody else posted as well. I don't remember who. He was in the Boston bar at around 11 p.m.
The night before the game.
The night before the game, Sunday night, after they landed.
Yeah.
And I have questions. Torrey said some things yesterday. Torrey kept implying, like, I knew some things yesterday morning, but I'm not going to get into it. And then he's like, oh, there was discussions in the clubhouse on the situation. Everybody hopes he's okay. And then you saw Perdomo speak and Corbin Carroll speak after the game. Nobody has a clue. He didn't give Perdomo a heads up. Hey, man, I got to go deal with this. He didn't give anybody a heads up. That is unacceptable, folks. You try that at your job today. You try that anywhere around baseball. You don't just not show up and not tell people where you are. Now, I'll give somebody some slack. You have a family, your wife, your kid has an issue, and you find out about it, and you panic a little bit. And you're in a strange town in Boston, and your kids are someplace else, and you panic a little bit, and you just like, I got to get to the airport, I got to get there, and even if you text somebody and go, hey man, I got to deal with this, and you just disappear that way, I'll give you some slack for that. But you have to notify people. You might get in trouble because they didn't authorize you to leave, but I'll give you some slack for having to go deal with something if you have to. And it's against the rules, but you still go deal with it, I'll give you slack on that. You have to notify somebody. That's the bottom line in this whole conversation today. You need to keep in mind, Marte fans. I had a guy come at me and go, it's a personal matter, none of your business. Okay, I agree. Text him. Text him. Text him. That's all you got to do. Send a text. This is happening. I'm not coming to the ballpark today. I got to deal with this. Cool. Even if the team doesn't like it, I'll forgive you for that. And here's the other side of it. I don't care what you say today. The other side of it is, there's a track record of this. And there's a track record of it happening in a playoff push. That's unacceptable for your superstar. It's unacceptable, Dale. That was a big game last night against an opponent. You're in a playoff push. You're battling it out with everybody. And you don't have the courtesy to give people a heads up hours before the game. They're still hoping you're going to show up 8 minutes before the game. That's why they held the lineup. The Diamondbacks could have done the simple thing, which they don't do. They could have gone and they could have said, they could have just been like, put the lineup up an hour ahead of time and just had Marte out of the lineup. And they didn't. They held it. They held it expecting him to show up. That tells you. I had somebody come at me and go, well, it's because Fernandez wasn't there. They could have played without Fernandez, folks. They didn't need him on that roster. Yes, he ended up starting. They didn't need him there. They could have played a game without Fernandez. They held it because they were waiting for him to show. They were under the impression he was showing up at that time. That's just unacceptable, Dale. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the Cowboys back in the day and nobody can get a hold of Troy? 10 minutes before game time, you're like, maybe he's showing up. Maybe he's showing up.
Right.
Maybe he's showing up. Just, folks, think about it for a minute. I know you have love for Marte, you Marte fans. I'm not disputing you on that. But you at least have to admit what he pulled yesterday was completely unacceptable, no matter what the reason. No matter what the reason, not notifying somebody is unacceptable.
The standard protocol. Something bad happens. What your wife gets sick, a kid gets sick, somebody
Major
passes
car
away,
accident. Exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah.
A text to somebody, hey, this has happened. I'll be in touch as soon as I can.
Yes.
Hey.
And at least they know something's up. Like, okay, we need to prepare to be without him today.
Right.
That's all you do. I guarantee you there's a person in that organization 2 a.m, 4 a.m, 2 p.m, 10 a.m. I guarantee you there's a person in that organization that is designated to accept those deals. I just got arrested for a DUI. That guy gets that text.
Yep.
And it gets spread throughout from there. I guarantee it's there. It's just that's the part that rifles me the most here. It's just ridiculous that people are dismissing the fact he doesn't notify you.
Well, again, I'm going to bring it back to a little bit more personal. Obviously, I was not Ketel Marte to the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, so let's get that out of the way immediately.
You're not comparing yourself.
No. But in a situation, my dad passed away during training camp. They knew. In fact, Jerry Jones flew me and my wife and kids back here on his private plane. So they knew. Now, the whole thing was when I was coming back. And all I got from them was, you take as much time as you want, but please let us know when you plan on coming back so we can make our plans.
Yeah, that's the proper way to handle it.
And of course, I was in constant contact with them just to let them know, and I appreciate everything they did for me. And I look at Ketel Marte, and how can you not appreciate everything the Diamondbacks have done for you?
And when we played the Torrey clip here coming up, we were talking about this, and then when Bruce Cooper comes in, obviously we're going to talk about it with him. But I can't figure out if Torrey after the game yesterday, because he's emotional.
Yes, he is.
I can't figure out, and I believe one way over the other, I can't figure out if he's genuinely worried for Marte's safety or whatever's happening to him, or if he's just pissed that he's getting burned again for a guy that he keeps defending. I can't figure it out, but I suspect I have the answer. And this shit, he put the whole team in a bad light yesterday.
Here's the thing: when the coach, when the general manager, when the president all go out on a limb for you, okay, hey,
just a few months ago,
you go to Dominican Republic unannounced on you don't get permission.
Yeah, he didn't get on the plane back to Phoenix after the All-Star game, and he went and did his own thing and didn't tell anybody.
Right.
That's what happened.
And you don't tell anybody, and then they have your punishment is you sit down in front of the team and apologize and all that, and he did that supposedly. But you went out on a limb for that guy. Mm-hmm. You feel that you have a different kinship with him, and you always do with your best players. That's the thing that from the time I was 10 years old, you realize in sports, the better you are, the better treatment you get. Yes. The more leeway you get. Yes. You can say it's not fair, whatever.
Dale, it's like that in the real world too.
I'm sure it is. The more money you bring in to the company, guess what? The more leeway you get. Mm-hmm. But when you go out on a limb for a guy, and then he does it again, this time, 2-3 weeks later than the All-Star break.
Well, that's the thing, Dale. They did it. They did it just when that Bob Nightingale story came out earlier this season. They all came out and defended him.
Right.
Just months ago. On top of it, it's just you hope Marte's okay with whatever's happening. That's all you can say from that perspective. But folks, there is no excuse to not let somebody know. That's the thing you have to keep in mind in this, especially the All-Star thing. There was no games to deal with. He ended up missing a couple games, but when they found out about no games, this was 8 minutes before game time when they had to make a decision. You force the team. That's how much respect you have for your manager and your team. You wait till 8 minutes beforehand and force them. You could have sent a text an hour or two later. I ain't going to be there today, guys. At a minimum, you could say that. They were waiting and waiting and waiting the whole time. And here's the other side of it. On a separate side, and we haven't even delved into the meat of it yet. I'm interested in seeing, because trust me, the Marte lovers who hate the media talking negative about Marte are out there. They were on my feed last night and this morning. And that's fine, and everything. I wonder how many diehard Marte fans are going to be like, that's enough. This is enough. I wonder he's going to ruin it on that side as well. That'll be fascinating to see how that kind of goes as time goes on. Well, go ahead.
What's interesting is reading through all the stuff that I read through last night after you hear about this and then this morning. And, again, it'll be interesting to see, was that Torey Lovullo being emotional and upset because, again, just like any person, if I put my reputation online and I hang myself out to dry for you, and then you burn me again, that hurts. And you got
You're
a guy with a relationship with 10 years with this kid.
Anybody that's been around an alcoholic that in your family or a drug user in your family, you've dealt with those demons. It's two different things. Don't get me wrong, but you defend them and you defend them and you defend them. You try to help them, and you just keep getting. Eventually, you're like, I can't keep doing this.
Right. So through all that, again, it'll all come out in the wash here in the next couple of days. The only thing that I sat there and I did a double take was when Troy Lavella came out and said, we care for Cattell once we knew he was okay. So they're saying he's okay.
They said during the game it started to come out that he's fine physically. He's dealing with a personal issue is what started to leak out as the game went on.
Right. And he said we knew he was okay. That I think everybody relaxed and started to focus on the game.
Yeah.
I don't know if they focused on the game.
That is the biggest pile of bull crap we've ever heard from Torey Lavello. The biggest lies Torey Lavello tells the media and the public is around Cattell Marte. When the Bob Nightingale story came out, he flat out said, this doesn't fracture the locker room. I saw Marte and Perdomo's interviews yesterday on the broadcast after
Not
the game.
Marte.
I'm sorry, Corbin Carroll.
Yeah.
On Marte. They were not happy answering those questions. Here's the bigger picture. And this is what I want to set this up with before we start just attacking. That's what I'm going to do today, folks. The biggest issue to me is the disrespect he has now shown to the franchise, again, by not just simply giving a heads up.
Yep.
Especially to a coach and a general manager that he can walk in 3 days before the end of his season in a playoff push 2 years ago and say, can I have a day off today on a playoff push? And they went, okay. They have been more than willing to give him time off when he asked for it.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even show that respect to those guys doing that for you. And then on top of it, what you just did to your teammates. Dale, I know you haven't been in a Major League Baseball locker room. You can handle a DUI. You can handle a rape charge in the case of Irvin. That's false. You can, right, all of that stuff out away from the football field, but you show up and play, you can kind of get around that. But somebody not showing up, you're a game away from, you're in the playoffs and somebody doesn't show up. You're pushing for the playoff. You have to win this game. And some key player doesn't show up to the game. I'm sorry, folks. If that doesn't screw up your locker room, you don't have the right locker room, in my opinion. Tell me as a 17-year NFL veteran how that works.
And I will say, and I'll say this whenever we talk about this, at the end of the day, whatever is personal, whatever the reason he wasn't there, personal reason, death in the family, whatever, he's having mental issues, I don't know. Whatever the issue is, you call Perdomo, who's your best friend.
You call your friends.
You call or text Torey, who you know has your back.
Yeah, that's my point.
And you let them know, hey, I'm in a bad spot, and they're going to ask, what can we do for you?
I'm not in the right mental state.
Yeah, and they're going to move into recover mode, rescue mode, whatever they can do to help you out.
Absolutely.
If it is in fact that.
And he chose not to go down that deal. Did not, just chose. And I get it. And I'm not saying this is the case. I've thought for a while that Marte has a mental, and I don't mean this negatively. It could just be a stage fright for big moments. Professional players have that, folks. They're human. It could be as simple as that. I'm not saying he's, mentally where he needs to be in a hospital. I'm not saying that stuff. I'm saying I think Marte has a mental block in him where things get stressful and he doesn't necessarily handle it right. And that's what sports psychologists are for and all of that stuff.
But Steve, I would argue.
But it's hard to talk about that stuff, Dale.
I would say it's really hard to talk about, but you have at least got to give your teammates and your manager a heads up.
You've got somebody, there has to be somebody that he could have sent a word to, and they would have been like, we need to check on. Not knowing if he's in the room afterwards was alarming to me. Get somebody over there knocking on that door.
Right. Well,
if you know he's not showing up, you go check on the guy. Did they do that? We don't know. To be fair, we don't know.
Well, when Tori says when we found out he was okay,
yeah,
we were so
I questioned some of that stuff.
I'm very sure that an hour and a half, at least an hour before the game, he's not there. That they're sending a search party.
Yeah. I remember when, and I'm not saying it's the same thing, but when that Cardinals pitcher died, what's his name? Kyle? Oh my gosh, I forgot. Right in the middle of the scene. He didn't show up to the ballpark. They sent somebody to his room and they found him. Unfortunately, he died in his sleep, right? And was still in bed and stuff like that. Like, that's the first thing you do.
Yep.
But then if you reach out to him and you find out he's okay, how can we help you? What's going on today?
Right.
I wouldn't, and I get it, it's tough to reach out, but the Diamondbacks would know if those issues were there as well, to where they'd be protective of it, assign somebody to him, those types of things, to watch him, and stuff like that. Then there's stories of him being at the bar at 11 p.m. the night before. Does that mean he just woke up with a raging, Daryl Kyle? Thank you, Robert. I was going to say Kyle something. Daryl Kyle there with the Cardinals back in the day. And our buddy John Holmberg got in a lot of trouble for that with one of his guys on the show. I remember that vividly. But, it just, there's no reason to not let people know. That's the gist of where I come from on this story. You've let your teammates down. You've let your franchise down. You've let the guys defending the heck out of you down. You've let everybody down. And then on top of it, how do you come back from this? The distraction when he comes back to this team, whether it be today, a week from now, 2 weeks from now, the distraction this is going to bring to a team in a playoff race is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. That's how little he thinks of his team and his teammates. And it makes me angry. It makes me angry. It made me angry last year when he took a ball off his foot. Blaze Alexander's elbow is the size of a basketball with things on it. And Robert says this, the so-called leadership and their vagueness is making it worse. I've said all along, and you guys know this, protect Marte to the nth degree. When they found out he wasn't going to be there and they put that line out 7 minutes late, it was very simple for them to say, we're putting Marte on the reserve list. Marte has a personal thing he's dealing with. We can't tell you about it. Boom. That would have just squashed everything. And everybody would have been, oh, we hope Marte's okay. Instead, they left us guessing for 9 innings. And then afterwards kind of made it worse on top of it. Like, protect the guy yourself, which also tells me, Dale, Diamondbacks might be a little pissed off about this.
I think that says a whole lot about
because
that.
Last year they didn't put him on the reserve list. Remember? They threatened to, and then he responded. And then they're just like, oh, he's going to miss a couple games. Earlier this year they defended him. The fact that they made this move tells me, because they knew what it was going to do, tells me they might be done with this now, with this move now. It's going to be fascinating to see. Ann says, I have been a huge Marte supporter since he became a D-back. I'm hugely disappointed with these antics. We all want the best from Marte. It's just no other guy in baseball does this. No, name another player that's done this, folks. I'll wait.
It's hard to come up with one. I'm sure there has been one if you go over the years of baseball, but I can't remember it.
He was just going to be the DH yesterday on top of it. Wasn't even going to play.
Well, my argument about big games was going to be, they won 2 out of 3 from Atlanta. This is a Monday night game. The Monday game in Boston.
Dale, you're in a playoff hunt, man.
Yeah. But so some are...
Ask for the day off. We know Marte asks for days off. At a minimum, ask for the day off, and they'll give it to you. Oh. And then we'll all be mad about that. It's like it's been escalated to a level, an unacceptable level now, in my eyes.
Went from 0 to 120.
I don't like him asking for days off in the playoff chase, but if he needs a day off, by golly, give him a day off. Because hopefully he comes back better, stronger, bigger, whatever. I don't like it, but that's your MO. Let's do it. And then you pull this stuff. Unacceptable on so many standards, so many levels. out there as well. Then Dale, and like I said, we haven't played the clip yet because I'm going to have to try to keep my language, healthy here for this thing. 2 quotes yesterday, and I tweeted one of them out there when I heard him say it from Torrey after the game. And I'll show you this clip here coming up. We deal with a lot as baseball managers and coaches and teachers. So, sometimes you get disappointed. Sometimes they let you down. But we're going to figure out how to work through this. Baseball managers, coaches, teachers shouldn't have to deal with this because you're a professional and you're getting paid $16 million a year. It's almost like he's accepting it and being like, sometimes you get let down. It's okay.
I distinctly believe there's a strong difference in the way Torrey reacted to this last night to what he did after the All-Star break.
Reason why I read that quote to you, because I don't want to show you the clip here until we kind of sum everything up, our thoughts on it,
right,
before I show it to you. I read it to you because I'm sitting here going, baseball managers don't deal with guys not showing up to the ballpark. Coaches and teachers don't show with guys not showing up to the ballpark. Now, if it's a practice, a guy might miss batting practice one day or might not make infield. That happens. Basketball, right? Allen Iverson, practice. We're talking about practice. I was just watching a story the other day of Kurt Warner. He was asking when he was in college why his friend asked why he wasn't playing. And the coach was like, he doesn't practice well. And he realized 95% of what I do is practice.
Right.
I've got to do that good. If I don't do that good, I'm not going to get on the field. And guys will miss practice left and right. But a game? But then Mike Hazen came out, according to Steve Gilbert, in his weekly news, in his newsletter from last night. It was unfortunate that he wasn't there tonight, unquote, Mike Hazen. Oh, is that it? Or was it just unfortunate? Was it that it? Oh, it was just unfortunate he didn't make it. What does that mean?
Well, again, with the lack of information, there's so many things that could be going through their mind, too. Is Marte forcing their hands? He wants to be released. He doesn't like Arizona. He doesn't want to be here.
I get that.
Is it really there is some mental issues going on and he needs to take care of them? But again, you're not going to get any better help than going to your team and asking for help.
Yeah. I don't know this for a fact, but I'm assuming there are Diamondbacks have sports psychologists on the call, if not on the staff.
And I guarantee you this, because it's even around back when I was playing, some guys don't feel comfortable going to a team sponsor guy. They have names of people.
His agent has somebody. His agent goes, hey, call Dr. Park.
You at least call your agent, don't you? And your agent then...
Is he? That's what I want to know. I want to know if his agent is blindsided by this. That's what I want to know. I want to know. Well, we'll find out. There's ways to find that out, meaning his agent drops him or vice versa or something to that effect as well. But it's just like, I didn't expect the Diamondbacks to come out and be like, he's off the team, he's terrible. Everything's fixable in this world, folks. Especially in sports when you're really good, right, Dale? But there is a limit, right? There's a bunch of guys were running through my head last night. Other sports, of course, but, people eventually LeBron James been on a bunch of teams because people get tired of dealing with him. Right? Allen Iverson, people got tired of dealing with his antics and stuff to that effect, that stuff. The numerous baseball players have been moved on because, they don't fit in with the team and people don't like them. Suarez last year, not Suarez, the first baseman, I just forgot his name, Naylor, kind of a quirky guy. Kirk Gibson famously ran, a pitcher out of town because he didn't like the way he warmed up. Happens all the time out there. All the time. And the Diamondbacks just keep being like, it's okay. It's okay out there.
As you sit there and watch just what happened, because again, it wasn't like, hey, there's murmurs coming out of the clubhouse that there's something bubbling under the surface. Hey, you hear some things in Atlanta or or he didn't get on the plane to go to Boston. Or
yes.
You heard nothing.
Yeah. I just, Diamondbacks talked to him, obviously, and found out some information.
Right.
But.
Well, here's the other thing, Steve.
They don't know the gist of it.
Here's the other thing about it. It's like you're rooting for nothing to be seriously wrong.
Absolutely.
You're rooting as a person, as a fan, as just a human being. But if you root for that and he shows up today and says, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Well, now that begs a whole new bag of questions.
I'll put it. I hate to say this, but he needs to miss like a week or something to then you kind of be like, all right, he had something big happen. He needed to deal with it. Cool. We understand that. It's just Corbin Carroll, if you missed it after the game, said he did have a brief text exchange with Marte, but he didn't know what caused him to miss the game. Perdomo, right? Very, very good friends on this team. If not the closest friend he's got, then definitely one of the top two there. He was surprised Marte wasn't there. Dale, if something would have happened to you, you would have been like, hey, Troy, FYI.
Yeah.
Michael. And they would have been like, we don't need him anyway.
No.
And moved on with their day.
Right.
We'll let them know.
The Cowboys wouldn't have lost 11-1 if I didn't show up.
But you reach out to people.
Yeah.
You reach out to your
friends. At least one person.
Like yeah. Yeah. It just that's where your head kind of just goes to places. But Perdomo said, I don't know anything. I just came here to play, and I didn't see him here, and we haven't talked yet. At the end of the day, we are a family, and we're going to support everybody no matter what. We just came here to play, and that's the only goal we have right now, just to win. Well, there's one guy that doesn't come to play. One guy that doesn't. And it's fascinating to see. And I just, like I said, you hope Marte's safe. That's the bottom line. You hope whatever the situation is, whether it's with him, family members, he like I said, there's no way to say mental health issue without making it sound like, something bad's about to happen. Like I'm not saying that side of it. I just think that he's got something in his brain when high pressure, big moments where he's relied on are coming up, something triggers and he just retreats a little bit. And that's okay. To be honest with you, is it what you want from your superstar? No. But let's get him the help he needs so, he can be a happy person and not go through this. Because whatever he went through yesterday couldn't have been a good thing. For you not to show, like, Dale, what would it have taken, like, for you not to show up to a football game? I mean, would have had to have been.
Right.
Monumentally, mentally draining, whatever, where you're not thinking straight. You don't just wake up and go, I'm not showing up to work today. You just don't do that.
Well, then you wonder if he's around with a group of friends at 11 o'clock at night at the hotel bar. What could possibly happen between midnight and 10 o'clock the next morning?
The obvious conclusion to draw from that, if you're guessing, is drinks a little too much, and then it affects his mind the next day. I mean, y'all have woken up with a hangover the next day, and you want to, just crawl into a hole and disappear.
Nothing like the crack of a bat to snap you out of it, Steve.
They call them angry drunks for not him, but I'm saying angry drunks for a reason. The nicest people normally they drink, and all of a sudden they're angry people and stuff to that effect. It is a fascinating situation with a team that's right in the middle of the playoff hunt right now. Throw up the wild card standings, if you will, here, Ethan, for me. If I put them on the screen, right? You lost last night. You lost 2 in a row, but Padres lost. Phillies, I don't believe, played yesterday out there. So you're right there. You're still in it. And that's where you get kind of disappointing. I just firmly believe something like this will fracture a locker room. And does ask on the YouTube chat as well, could this lead to a manager change?
No, because this decision, whatever happens with him, is going to go higher than Torey Lovello.
It's above him. But could he be blamed for allowing the situation to get to this point? Because it's not the first time. If this was time number 1, okay. Dale, 3 years ago, he did this leading up to the end of the season when they were in the playoff hunt and they miss it on the last day. He pulled a stunt and asked for a day off. Then the All-Star game last year. Then he missed the game at the end of last year in the playoff push because he fell the ball off his foot and didn't want to go out and play. And then now this year, the story earlier this year, and now this. It's just, it's just there. Robert says it seems equivalent to not parenting your kid, right? Just letting your kid do whatever he wants, and then you're shocked he's an a-hole. and he just does stuff. Yeah, it's just leadership. Unfortunately, it shows leadership in this organization is lacking. Now, I'll give them credit. They put him on the reserve list yesterday. That tells you something because they didn't do that before. They've never done that before on top of it.
Right.
As well.
Which
and everything.
Also leads you to believe that this was not a tragic situation that happened.
I firmly believe we would have. This is where, if it was a family personal issue, something to that effect, they wouldn't have told us what it was, but they would have said he has a family personal issue he's dealing with. We're giving him some time off. And it squashes it.
Mm-hmm.
The Diamondbacks didn't protect him in this moment, which tells you something. And that's kind of the point here. The lack of information from the Diamondbacks is telling you something. Because if they would have come out and said, right off the bat, hey, he's going on the reserve list, he's dealing with some stuff.
There's a family emergency.
We have to work it out. Even if you say family, just Marte's out, he's on the reserve list, he's dealing with some personal issues, going to be without him for a little bit. We'll address you as we can later on. And we all would have been like, we hope he's okay. It's just an amazing thing that's kind of happened out there and stuff to deal with. From that perspective. So that's where we stand as of now. Take our break here and everything. It's just 8 minutes before a game for a lineup card tells you they were waiting.
Well, it was interesting because I was driving yesterday and I turned on 98.7 and Burns and Gamble were on and Gamble's like, it's whatever, 30 minutes before the game and the lineup card hasn't been turned in yet. And he said, I'm going to start checking in on this stuff. And then 8 minutes before the lineup card comes out.
Well, so like I was taking a little nap there. And then I'd go pick up my daughter and go drop her off at her mom's house. And I'm driving and I'm like, this game starts in like 10 minutes.
Right.
I'm like, what did I miss? Then I saw Fernandez in for Marte on the reserve list. And I went, that's interesting. And then I was like, why was Fernandez even there waiting? Well, if Arenado had to go on the IL, he was there in case they put him on. Which also tells you Arenado's going on the IL, folks. They just didn't make that move yesterday to do it. But then, of course, they put J-Mart on the roster. They DFA'd Hoffman. Locklear went down, which surprised me for a first baseman. Kind of surprised me a little bit that they made that move there. So they made all those moves, and I was like, wait, there is no lineup. I didn't even recognize it. I was like, wait, there is no lineup. What the heck? Did I miss it? Like, what's up? And then boom, it pops out. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. I didn't think of it. I'm like, that's it. And then I was even like, that's a weird lineup. All right, whatever. And I'm like, but, so then I'm driving. Then you hear the beginning part of the thing where they say, Marte's not here, not in the lineup, on the reserve list. We don't know what happened. We hope everything's good. And I'm just sitting there going, kind of weird beforehand. All right, whatever. But I'll reserve judgment. Then you start seeing the stories of how he's in town. Nobody's heard from him. Didn't show up to BP, and nobody had heard from him. And the fact the lineup was delayed because they were still expecting him to show up. And then you're like, all right, something's up. This is bigger than just because they would have just come out and said personal issue. They refused.
Well, the other interesting thing, if you want to, again, there's so many different weed holes you can go down. But I would think whatever time you're supposed to be at the ballpark, say it's 3 hours before the game.
Yeah.
It might be more, but say it's 3 hours, and now it's 2 hours before the game, and nobody's seen him.
Yeah, still haven't seen him.
Yeah. I'd probably release the lineup card then.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But do they want to try and embarrass him? Was there a message trying to be sent?
I strongly believe. This is what I think. And it's just speculation. I think there was communication to where they thought he was still going to make it for game time. So they were holding it and holding it and holding it. And then they're like, we can't hold it anymore.
I mean,
Let's
but
make the move.
99% of professional teams,
That's what
if they're supposed to be there at a certain time,
you don't play.
and you're late, either you don't play or you don't start.
It's even worse than that. They could have protected him. This is my point here. They could have protected him by just putting the lineup up an hour ahead and just say we're giving Marte the day off. They could have just done that.
So that's what makes me wonder.
That's what tells you that
was it done on purpose?
And the Diamondbacks are pissed about it because they made that move. There were ways to protect Marte yesterday that they chose not to do. That tells you so. That is a clue, Dale, in this process, if you want to break down and be a sleuth here as well.
And I watched Coop walk in here and say Marte for president. And...
I put it out yesterday. I said, Ethan said, can we put a tracker on Marte so they can see where he is? Put an air tag on him. That's the thing. I put it out yesterday. I was like, I'm interested in hearing what Coop's take is on this. It's just this, again, my thing on this is distraction wise. The team had to adjust yesterday, and they obviously looked like they didn't adjust yesterday. And then on top of it, even if it all gets settled out and everybody's hunky-dory, the second Marte's back with this team, distractions will go lower. And in time when distractions are not what you need, Dale. That's the problem that I have with this.
Lots of problems.
Come on back, folks. We'll keep going with the main event. And we're back here. Main event on Tuesdays. That means Bruce Cooper joins us here. The man, the myth, the legend, Bruce Cooper. And look, everybody manages to show up to work like they're supposed to around here. Apparently, it's not a hard thing to do, guys.
Well, before we let Bruce go loose and all that, I've told many people this, Bruce. I've been on the campus of Harvard one time in my life.
Why?
Because I was actually doing the Harvard Yale game.
They escorted him off right away.
They escorted me on and escorted me out immediately. And but there's just a different feeling around there. The air of smartness and intelligence seems to be around. I kind of feel that every Tuesday when you come walking in here. The air of greatness comes walking in here.
It's like it just
I was
lights flicker.
Going with the invite at Harvard.
The air of greatness.
Hey, look, guys. I mean, everyone knows that this Cattell story is just huge. It's not going anywhere. I mean, I was stunned sitting there watching the game and hearing, our two great broadcasters give us the scoop on it. And they said, well, we'll have more post game on it. And so I from 11-1 game, I definitely would have long left. But
yeah, he was waiting.
I stayed around just because Berthume and Gonzo talked about the fact that they would have more on the Cattell Marte situations, and I'm listening to Tori, and clearly, Jody caught him off guard with a couple questions.
We haven't played it yet. We've just been talking about it. Okay. I have the clip. We're going to play it, but go ahead.
And I'm like, Torrey's trying to protect this dude.
Okay.
I mean,
I was wondering what your take would be on that.
Why would you still try to protect this dude? I mean, look, at some point, you have to take the guardrails off. At some point, this guy has to be accountable. I listened to Torrey from his own mouth. He said he had very little communication with Cattell, but he wanted to assure the reporters in there, Cattell is okay. Yeah. So my point is this. Okay, the fact that you had very little communication with him, you had some for him to tell you what's going on. I mean, you owe that to your manager. You owe that to your teammates, and the fact that he can't even communicate that. I mean, they still don't know what the heck's his problem.
Right.
That's the next step. We have to find out what it is. I'm sitting there listening to Corbin Carroll and Geraldo Perdomo say that, hey, well, let's first find out what the issue is. Is this a personal issue? Let's find out what it is. Find out what it is. Mm-hmm. You should already know what it is.
Right.
If I'm calling in sick, my teammates may know that I'm just calling in sick, but I've told my manager or my boss what my issue is.
Right.
And and my boss will then let the whole team know this is the problem. He didn't even have that. He didn't have that.
Before we get all into
I have an update.
Bolts of this, okay, you could go there.
I want to finish this, but I want to let everybody know we have an update. Okay. But so let's finish this conversation.
I just want to ask you one question before we get into the weeds with this thing. In your career, have you ever been interviewing a coach, general manager, owner in a situation where something has happened and something's happened and you push him and he gets mad at you? Can you remember a time where you said, you know what? No. That's not acceptable to me right now. I'm going to delve a little deeper.
Dale, that's a good question.
I've had that in the corporate world.
I can't recall that off the top of my head. Yeah. And the fact that I can't recall it off the top of my head means that there was something that wasn't impactful regarding that question.
Right.
Because I would remember something like that.
Yeah.
The fact that I don't, is a problem. And let me go this far. So guys, after listening to the entire post-game show on the Diamondbacks Network last night, I said, you know what? I'm done with Cattell.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already moved to my next steps. So my next steps are, he's not coming off the restrictive list. He's staying on that damn restrictive list for the rest of this season. I'm going with the guys that are in that clubhouse who actually know what it is to be a family, who actually know what it is to be in a fight. They're in a pennant race, for crying out loud.
Yep.
And this dude is a no-show. That's unacceptable to me. Now, it better be a damn good reason. But see, I kept coming like this. I said, regardless of what that reason is, he had some communication, though it was little, some communication with Torrey.
Right.
He could have expressed during that little time that he had with Torrey what the nature of his absence is. Mm-hmm. He didn't do it. Man, I went as far as to looking up, how old is Cattell? I looked it up. He's 32, man. Yeah. He'll be 33 in October. He's a man. Yeah. He's a grown freaking man.
Yeah.
Dude, that's inexcusable what he did. So then I went another step forward. I said, since my next step is to keep him on the restrictive list, that I've already reduced his market value. And keep in mind, I understand he's a 10-5 guy, so he can really dictate where he's going, but I'm shopping. And I said, if I get lucky, who would take this guy? Look, I looked around, I saw that there's C.J. Abrams from the Washington Nationals. He's 25 years old. He'll be 26 in October. I'm looking at his stat. I said, that's the dude I want.
Will he show up to a game?
Well, I tell you what, at 25, he ain't missing any games.
Right.
I mean, it seems like every professional, regardless of sport, they know their situation. Even Anthony Davis, even Kawhi Leonard, guys that don't dress up and play, they show up.
Right.
They're on the bench.
Right.
I mean, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
what could keep Cattell? He's in Boston, people. He's not even at his home.
He supposedly was at the bar at 11 o'clock the evening before the game.
So Sunday night.
The game was on Monday. He was there with a group of people, eyewitnesses say.
Okay.
But you're right. That's what I struggle with. The fact that, okay, if it's a death in the family, of course, take the day off. But
you still communicated.
Yes. That it's the communication part that I don't get. And I had this theory. Well, first of all, let's stop because we can talk about this for the rest of the show. What's the breaking news?
Well, before we do that, because I have to set this up. It's about Marte and what they're doing with him.
Okay.
Throw those headphones on here. Here's Tori yesterday after the game. I want to show this because listen to it. I'm even more saying that Tori's covering this up yesterday, like kind of what Bruce said. I'm going to go even more that route, knowing what I know right now that you guys don't know.
Okay.
Here's yesterday after the game, Tori, about Cattell Marte and how he didn't show up.
Earlier today, the lineup came out 15 minutes prior to the game, and then we saw that Cattell went on the restricted list. Can you take us through what happened?
Yeah, it's been a crazy day. All I know is that he's dealing with a personal issue. We're trying to figure that out, and he didn't show up today, and he was put on the restricted list. That's as much as I know right now. I'm sure in time we'll start to uncover and unravel some information, but I knew that there was something going on today when I met with you guys, but I still believe he was going to be here, and he just didn't show up.
Did you have communication with him?
Very little this morning, this afternoon, and I just was doing my best to reach out to him, and there's very little coming back.
He's here though in Boston.
This question's nuts.
Is he here?
I believe so. I'm not sure.
How disappointing is it that the communication wasn't relayed to you earlier?
We deal with a lot as baseball managers and coaches and teachers. So, sometimes you get disappointed, sometimes you get let down, but we're gonna figure out how to work through this.
I know he had the restricted list placement last year because he had issues where he hasn't showed up on time. Or
No, this is the first time.
As far as you saw that have a bigger impact on the clubhouse, how do you feel the players responded to that?
The players are gritty. They rally around one another. I know there was a lot of discussions about it at different points in time in the clubhouse today. There was a lot of curiosity. We care for Cattell, and once we knew he was okay, I think everybody relaxed and started to focus on the game. But what was the final score? 10-1, 11-1. I mean, we got our ass kicked. We got to be better.
what do you think is the way forward for Cattell?
I don't know. Just care for him and love him.
That's telling right there.
When did you start to get?
Look at his eyes,
this
folks.
Might be, how did it come about where you realized he might not?
When I woke up this morning. So I want to keep that private though.
You seem a little emotional. Are you worried?
No, not really. I love him and I care for him. It'll be okay.
The longer he talked there, he started off with dry eyes, and the longer he talked, the more his eyes watered up. Things like that. So as we take our break here, I want you guys to think about that, because he said some true things there. As he said, he claims he knew there was an issue when he woke up this morning. That's bullcrap. It came up later. But here's the news for you. Yesterday, everybody was putting it out there. He was okay physically. He just didn't show up. Everybody was reporting that. Gambo was not there. Nick Pecora, who was there. Everybody was saying he's good physically. The breaking news this morning is Nick Pecora said 9 minutes ago, Cattell Marte is returning to Arizona to undergo an MRI on his knee. Come on back, folks. Second hour. We'll get Bruce's thoughts on that. Coming up next. And we're back here, main event with Bruce Cooper joining us. We were, of course, obviously the hottest story. Nothing else seems to matter besides this Ketel Marte situation and everything. Bruce Cooper joins us on Tuesdays, and Bruce came in. I expected you to be a little hot. I expected you to think, be upset with Marte because I know you're a big fan of his. I'm a fan of his too when he wants to play and everything, but I'm tired of these antics. And I asked the question earlier. Are his biggest fans not going to put up with these antics? Is this going to start turning his biggest fans against him? Because last night they were hot and heavy on social media. They're still defending the heck out. It's a personal problem. Leave him alone and everything. And you came in hot about that, saying you're tired of those antics as well and everything. And then right before that break, I gave you the update. They said everything was fine physically yesterday. Everybody was reporting it. You heard Torrey's words there as he got more emotional as he was talking about Marte. That tells you I'm torn on that emotion side. I can't figure out if it's anger because he's being let down again by him, or if it's genuine concern because he's worried. He knows something about Marte that we don't know, whether it be mental or something to that effect. And so is that the emotion? There's two ways to go there. I think he got emotional because he's just pissed off about the whole situation. My take on this is not letting somebody know. And since you weren't here in the first hour, not letting people know is unacceptable, but most importantly, the distraction he's now given this team. Not just yesterday, not just today, but if he comes back on this team, whether it be a month from now, a week from now, today, which is not going to be today, but that the distraction he's putting on a team and his teammates that's in the middle of a playoff push, to me, is just absolutely unacceptable.
Look, this was a draw a line in the sand moment for me. I mean, look, we've seen situations in 24. We've seen situations last year in 25. I mean, coming out of the All-Star break, that became a big deal. Dude, 3 strikes and you're out.
Right.
I mean, the Diamondbacks have put up with this guy long enough.
They give him a lot of rope.
Hey, look, I have been in his corner.
Yeah.
I've been on my soapbox, and hey, look, this guy can help you. Look, I've covered guys who were very difficult to deal with. Randy Johnson. I mean, he just made media, and my life in particular, just a nightmare. But the dude showed up.
Mm-hmm.
I've covered Barry Bonds. I mean, I don't even ever want to put a mic in front of his face anymore just because I've had tough situations with him. But the dude showed up.
Yeah.
I mean, Ketel Marte. Dude. I mean, I said before the break, I mean, I've kind of scoffed. I mean, a lot of us in the covering the NBA have kind of scoffed at people like Anthony Davis, who has the moniker Street Clothes.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard. You know, guys that are perennially hurt, but they show up. You see them there on the bench.
Right.
This dude didn't show up, man. And then you're trying to give him some pass about a knee. No, dude. I watched the Diamondbacks game Friday. Okay, Ketel Marte, after one at bat, they pull him because they said he tweaked something with his knee. All right, Diamondbacks going to win that game Friday.
Yep.
And so Saturday, he's not even in the lineup. It's okay, no problem. Well, he's got a little knee issue. Well, he's back in the lineup on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
He goes 0 for 3 with a walk.
They played better without him, Coop.
Yeah, went 0 for 3 with a walk in that game, and not a peep about his knee. I mean, he didn't even look like he was hurt. Like, I mean, not a peep. And
well,
then,
you get up in a plane, you swell a little bit.
What? Look. Man, you're trying to perpetrate a fraud on me right now. You're trying to perpetrate a fraud on all of us Diamondback fans and media. Because everything that I heard from Torrey, and you just played it, I'm thinking this dude has a mental issue.
Yeah, I think that too.
That's what I'm thinking.
We're on the same
or
board,
I said, maybe he has an extreme family situation, in which,
we would know about that, though.
But he can communicate both of those issues with, clearly Mike Hazen talked to him, because I read an article from Picoro later that night about how he had a phone conversation with Hazen. And Hazen's trying to be evasive is what Picoro's trying to relay.
Oh, absolutely.
So
he said it was unfortunate he wasn't there tonight.
Right. So At some point, if I'm a player and my manager reaches out to me and I talk to him, my general manager reaches out to me and I talk to him, and I still can't communicate what my issue is, people, I'm not trying to protect this dude anymore. He's no longer family. I've drawn that line in the sand. I'm done.
No Olive Garden chips
coming
for
off
him.
the restrictive list, and I'm going to try and make a trade in the offseason. I went looking down rosters, and I came across the Washington Nationals. I said, this is the dude I want. Now, I don't know if the Nationals would want to take on him, but clearly I have devalued Marte's market value because
He has devalued his market.
He's done that too, but I'm doing that by not taking him off the restrictive list.
Well, Coop, and here's the other thing. So if they're going to try and pass this off, they being the entire group,
you can't pass off
if you
they're perpetrating a fraud.
If you didn't hear the update, Nick Picoro is reporting he's been coming back to Arizona to have an MRI in his knee.
Dude,
this morning.
that's all
That's
fine
what
and
the report
good.
is
That's all
now.
fine, but don't try to perpetrate a fraud like that's why he didn't show up. No,
But
BS.
What I was going to say is, if in fact it is a knee.
No,
Man, I'm just saying. I'm eliminating it, Coop, by this fact. If it is in fact a knee, you're showing up to the clubhouse on Monday and getting treatment.
Absolutely.
And have them look at it.
Absolutely.
You're not sitting at the hotel bar, Sunday night going, hey, I'm self-diagnosing, my knee hurts, and I'm going to fly back. No, there's way more to that situation.
No, it's them covering for him. But here's the side of it: if it is the knee, you put him on the IL before the game yesterday.
Come on, man.
You put him on the IL. You go. Marte's knee swelled up on him overnight. We're gonna sit him out today. And then we'll get it checked out.
A 15-day IL.
Exactly. There's a 10-day or two. But you could easily do that. They put him on the restricted list, which tells you. But flying him out and saying that today that he's flying back for an MRI on his knee is kind of like you said. To me, it's just trying to cover for the guy now. Because now it's going to come out and be like, oh, he's going to need knee surgery and he's out for the rest. That's all going to be hogwash. That's going to be a cover of we're not having him back. We're not going to embarrass him, that type of thing.
But hold on.
That's what's coming.
Maybe. Well, let's think outside the box a little bit, Coop.
That's what's coming.
Think outside the box a little bit. Maybe this is part of a plan to do exactly what you want them to do.
Keep him on there.
And that's keep him away from the team, keep him on the restricted /IL list until the end of the season, and then in the offseason, try and trade him.
Dale, I don't need to play any games. This is grown-up stuff.
They want to embarrass him.
Okay,
embarrass him. He's embarrassed himself.
I know, but they just did it with Zach Gallen. Zach Gallen was done pitching with this team. Well, all of a sudden he has an arm injury and he's on a 60-day IL.
Hey, that's completely different. Now you're sending someone down because you say his performance is not on par. I'm not going to totally embarrass him. I'm going to give him an excuse because he's showing up. He's showing up.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't disagree,
but
they're not going to embarrass Marte.
But if you embarrass Marte,
he embarrassed himself.
I understand, but if I'm just I'm not saying what I agree with. Is I'm thinking, are they thinking we don't want to embarrass him, we don't want to drag him through the mud because then we definitely won't get anything.
We're trying to unload him.
Well, we're trying to unload him. Then I've lost all respect for the Diamondbacks front office. I mean, if that's the game they're going to play to product, no, it's time for this dude to go. And I'm not going. I'm going to go into my clubhouse and I'm going to be forthright. I'm going to be very, very direct with my players in that clubhouse, guys. Marte did something yesterday that's totally unacceptable. I can't go around and manage this clubhouse having someone like this. I'm gonna call it a cancer. Can't have a cancer that's going to infiltrate this locker room. I said, guys, I'm cutting bait. I've told Mike Hazen I don't want him around. Cool. We're going to keep. That's what I'm doing if I'm a leader.
And that's exactly what I would do too, and especially because this is not the first transgression.
Absolutely.
Especially because this isn't the first transgression.
Strike 3. Out.
Yes. And again, I'm trying to come up with some. They got to be done coddling them.
I would hope so.
They got to be done coddling.
The thing that leads me toward that is yesterday they gave him every opportunity, didn't show up, restricted list. They didn't do that last year. Last year they were threatening him with it, and then he responded to him in the Dominican.
He communicated last year.
After they threatened him is when he started to communicate that he was in the Dominican and dealing with that and stuff to that effect. So this time they didn't even threaten him. They were just like, all right, restricted, which they don't have to pay him. Now the question becomes, are they paying him right now?
If they pay him, I'm going to be angry.
Because if it's now, and I tend to agree with Dale on this because I know it sucks to protect a player that just did this to you. I'd be angry if I was Hazen today in Lavello. My eyes would be swollen up too because of anger and stuff. But it's possible they're just getting him away from the team now. But if here's the problem that I got, Coop. Whether it be a week, a month, whatever it is that he comes back on this team, if they allow him back on this team, dude, the distraction galore because everybody's going to ask these questions in a major part of a playoff chase. Things. You got to do what you did with Gallen. I know it's different situations because at least Gallen was trying and everything. But you just do that baseball thing. All right, he's getting an MRI on his knee. I'm going to put money on it. We're going to hear he's going to have to go on the 30 or 60-day IL with a knee injury. Don't know when he's going to come back. Surgery might not be possible. It might just need some healing time. I have a feeling that's coming.
Dude.
I have a feeling it's coming.
Dude, look. I'm trying to establish a culture. I've already established a culture.
This is the culture they've established.
And so I can't compromise that. I have to be straightforward with my team. And look, I know this is very, very different. But Dale talked about maybe it's a knee and this, that, and they're trying to look, dude, I'm gonna tell you this. And I'm a guy who's had 4 knee surgeries, including ACL reconstructions and stuff like that. But I'll give you a situation.
Man, broadcasting's rough, Coop.
No. I was actually playing ball. Now here's the deal, and I'm not trying to. Excuse me. Don't even try to think that I'm trying to compare the two. But I have a message or a theme that I'm trying to point out here. I was Cardinals camp, and they had already had their 2-a-day, so they had a rec center at NAU. And so, us guys, some of the media, we go in and we start scrimmaging. And NAU had their basketball players that are trying to stay in shape, so they're running the court. So how if you lose, you go off the next team.
Yeah.
I got next, and whatever. Well, I still even remember the dudes. Casey Frank, he was like a 6'10" guy. They had Ben McClintock, a 7-footer. And they were just like running the floor. I mean, that NAU team, they were running the floor, and I was getting mad. So you know what? I went in for a reverse layup, and I came down, and I noticed that my knee, I kind of hurt my knee, but I started to keep trying to play in it, and as I continued to play, I said, "Dang, I can't take another step." So I went off. No big deal. So I walked off. Went to my hotel room, showered. Tried to get up the next day to go out to the Cardinals practice. Well, I couldn't even move. I told my photographer, I said, "Hey." And John Alejandro was the Cardinals trainer at the time. I said, Brad, tell Omo that I need some pills to take the swelling off my knee because I can't even move. Dude, I'm communicating that my knee is bad.
Right.
And so you know what? Omo said, we have Coop coming to see me. I went and saw Omo. He says, Coop, you have way too much swelling on that knee. He set up a situation for me to go to Flagstaff General, and they drained my knee. But I communicated that I had a knee problem.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not even on the Cardinals team. I communicated a knee problem. If this dude retweaked his knee, the first guy he should be calling should be like his trainer or somebody. Hey, I need to see the trainer. He didn't do that, Dale. He didn't do that, people. And I'm not even on the freaking team. There's no excuse. Zero.
He's in the bar at 11 o'clock. He's in the bar.
You're missing the point. It's the old baseball injuries, the excuse thing.
No, I'm not allowing that. The culture of my team in the middle of a pennant race. This is inexcusable.
Two things this is telling me if I'm reading between the lines. One, the fact they put him on the reserve list yesterday before the game tells you they might be tired of it also because there's other ways to handle this.
What other way?
Well, again, say, hey, his knee's bothering him today. We're just not putting him in the lineup.
But he didn't even communicate that, though.
I know. I'm not saying – forget about that. I'm talking about from the Diamondback side. They put him on the list there. Maybe that means they're tired of him. Then they're flying him back, getting him away from – folks, they got MRI machines in Boston.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I haven't used one in Boston, but I'm pretty sure they have one there. I'm just gonna assume so. They're not bad.
Harvard's right
It's
there.
not. It's not Alabama. They have indoor plumbing and electricity in Boston. They're good to go for MRI machines. They're getting them away from the team right now, using that as the excuse to roll them out. This is what I love about baseball, though, is somebody's like I said, Zach Gallen did not have an elbow injury in his last start, and for a couple days afterwards, and all of a sudden he has one and has to go on the IL for 15 days. Baseball has a history of using these as the excuses to go. So the question becomes now, with him coming back to Phoenix under MRI, I'm just going to read between the lines and say he's still on the reserve list. You make that move and put him on the IL, different situation.
No, because now you got to pay him if you put him
That's
on
what
the
I mean.
IL.
So if they keep him on the reserve list while he's doing the MRI and stuff like that, that's telling you the Diamondbacks are making the moves behind the scene without
Steve, listen to what you're saying. You're saying the Diamondbacks are making this move, sending him back to keep him away from the team.
I will tell you.
Hey, let me tell you something. Marte kept himself away from the team.
I don't disagree with that.
I'm
just telling you, nothing with Mike Hazen and Torey Lovello tells you. Torey Lovello was on a screen yesterday. If that was me and I was Torey Lovello, maybe I'm not a manager for this reason. One of the reasons. I would have a hard time not F-bombing my player for not showing up and not just no showing.
But I have a problem trying to.
And he's sitting there crying on the screen, and we care about him. We care about him too. But damn it, show up and communicate with us. Look, I would not have been as nice, and that tells you they do these things to protect the players because they care about them.
Well, let me tell you something. If I'm Torey Lovello, I have 25 other players in that locker room
that you're accountable to.
Absolutely, and they all expect this manager to. And I know, Dale, you talked about in previous podcasts here that Jimmy Johnson would treat. Tell him how you're going to treat everybody the same. You put it some way. I forget how.
No, the way that Jimmy put it was, I treat all my players consistently and consistent. The better you are, the more leeway you get. But that's not field stuff. That's off the field stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
If Michael Irvin didn't show up to a game, there's going to be hell to pay.
Sure. Now, so I'm trying to put this thing in its how I would manage it. Torey and Hazen, I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Right.
I really don't. All I know is that I would not bring this dude off. I
don't disagree with you. I wouldn't have him anywhere near my team.
I wouldn't bring him off the restricted list.
I wouldn't even let him in the building.
Absolutely.
That's how I would handle it.
He's staying away from my team. Look, dude, you fired the first salvo. You decided to stay away from the team. And not only did you decide to stay away from the team, but you didn't even want to communicate your issue. Dude, I cannot allow that on my team, because if I allow you to get away with it, then I got 25 other guys looking at me out of the corner of their eye. I can't do that and get away with it. No, you're right. You can't, and neither can he. Bye.
Wow. Hey, Coop, I know we're going to talk more about this.
I would handle it differently than Diamondbacks.
But I want to have a little levity in this program.
Okay.
So
we don't allow that.
So those pickup basketball games at NAU. Who's the best media player?
Who's the best media player?
What years were this?
Clearly, I was.
What?
Yeah, clearly. There's not even a question.
Coop.
Not even a question.
If I call Bickley,
hey, look,
no.
I'm not
Bickley
even.
Ain't it?
You go back. You roll the clock back then. It's not even. There's not even a question.
Coop.
There's not a media member in there that could even.
Ken Summers.
Absolutely not. I kid you not. Look. I'm not trying to tell you I was a big pro, because I wasn't anything, but I knew I was a pretty good damn player, and I was.
So people wanted you on their team.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, let's put you like this. And I'll tell you how this goes. Okay, so my team loses. So the team that says next, say, hey man, will you play for us? So I was never coming off the floor. Because every time we lost, the next group came in. They wanted me to play it, and that's just how that went. And I'm not BSing. I'm not trying to blow my horn or anything like that. But look, I was by far and away the best man, and that's not saying a lot.
What were those games? That was like a 10-9 ball game. First one at 10, and
you
win.
You go to 21-1.
Half court.
How long did
full court.
How long did it take to get there? Is the question.
Oh no!
Was it like Angel Reese missing 13?
No.
13 layups.
Look, these. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you this. So Franks and McClintock, they had 4 guys on the team and 1 gal. She was on the NAU girls basketball team.
Right.
And so that's the team that see now.
Yeah.
Now we would
They brought in a ringer.
we would come close to beating them, but we just never did. But that's not the issue. You're getting me off. You're getting me off the issue. Look. I'm back. I'm back on this deal with Ketel Marte. Dude, I'm just so utterly disappointed because, hey man, I know when I was growing up, it took me a little while to mature, but you know what? One thing that I always did, Dale, even when I was in high school, I had coaches I was afraid of. You know what they would do? They tell you, you better be on your deathbed in the hospital, not show up. You're injured. You're here. You're supporting the team.
That's right.
I learned. I mean, that's what they said. And I'll be damned. I've had injuries, and I was on the sideline. I showed up.
Right.
I showed up.
You knew that 2001 Diamondbacks team pretty well with Randy Johnson.
Absolutely.
And all that. Could you imagine if somebody pulled this stunt on that team?
Oh, that veteran team. No, those players. They would have overrode Brenly, and they'd have handled it themselves.
Yeah,
Right.
And Brenly wouldn't have had to handle it. Is more of my point. He wouldn't have had to go to the microphone because it would have been handled internally, and they would have talked about it.
But
Just watching Perdomo and Corbin yesterday, just be like, we don't know what's happening. It's just what is going on. It's ridiculous to do it. And you can't tell me we've all questioned the locker room with the other antics from Marte before. And the Diamondbacks always, there's not a fracture in this locker room, but then we hear those stories sneak out. It just at some point you got to look at the rest of the team and be like, we're done with this. We're moving on, guys.
Dude, I heard Corbin Carroll tell the media when they asked him a question, he paused for a little while. Then he says, hey, well, he has a personal problem. Let's first find out what that problem is. That's what he said.
Yeah, no.
That's what he said.
They should be the ones that know.
Yeah.
Dale, if somebody was driving in, got in a car accident, I guarantee you on the football field, I guarantee you everybody on that team would have heard, so-and-so got in an accident on the way in today, so they're not going to be here today, or whatever.
You're calling.
It would have gone through.
Somebody. And maybe I don't have Jimmy Johnson's personal cell phone, but there weren't cell phones back then.
Yeah, I was going to say, what?
There weren't cell phones
Jimmy
back
Johnson
then.
would be the one that had one.
Dale, what you do? Go to the rotary phone?
Yeah. The pay phone.
That's what I was telling him. That's what I said earlier in the show. It's not like he was someplace in Boston and got stuck and he had to beg somebody for a phone or get change in his pocket to go to the pay phone to dial the number. We all walk around with these devices, with us or close to us, or we can get it as well out there. So I don't know, but there is conflicting reports. Before the Nick Picoro article, Enrique Rojas, the Spanish language reporter for ESPN, he said, this was before Nick Picoro, he said that Ketel Marte remains in Boston dealing with a personal situation. He and his family are fine. They say Marte has been in communication with the Diamondbacks through the appropriate channels and hopes to resolve this matter as soon as possible.
Yeah, but here's the deal.
That's long cover for him, right?
But here's the deal. And look, I don't question the reporter, what they're saying or anything like that. But here's the deal.
I will.
Here's the deal. We all heard Torrey.
Yeah.
Torrey said last night he had very little communication.
Yeah.
He still thought he would show up to the ballpark. That's what he said.
They held the lineup for
He still
7
thought
minutes
he was
before.
going to show up, despite the fact that he had very little. He didn't know what the situation was. People, you can't make excuses for that. Mike Hazen couldn't even and Hazen and Torrey talk all the time. Hazen can't even communicate to Torrey what the issue is.
Think about that for
They don't
1
know.
minute. For 1 minute, think about that. It's 4:00 yesterday in Boston, and you still haven't seen Marte, and you're gonna. Is that a explicit? What's that word? Explicit conversation they're having. Can you believe this blankety blank is doing this to us again? How are we going to deal with? Or is it?
I mean, Torrey, based on what I have heard from 2 different reporters now, both Picoro and from Jody Jackson, they said Torrey turned in his lineup card 8 minutes.
Yeah, that's when that literally is when
before
he walked
game
out.
time.
Mhm.
So he's planning on playing Marte.
Yeah, as the DH. He was going to be the DH.
Yeah, this is a pennant race.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, going into last night, the Diamondbacks were one game out of that final playoff spot. This is put up or shut up time.
Yep.
This is big time now.
Yeah.
And I want one of my best players on this team, a veteran, supposed to be a veteran leader.
Yeah.
To carry us through this pennant race. I mean, Corbin Carroll, who had been struggling, looks like he's come out of it. He was National League Player of the Week.
Yeah.
So okay,
By the
so
way,
next guy-
Marte posted that on Instagram during the game last night when they announced that Corbin Carroll got it. He did post that on his social media.
Marte did?
Yeah, on his social media page. Yeah.
He can do that, but he can't communicate.
There's another
It's
thing
his
for
I
you.
mean,
knee,
this is
Coop.
getting worse.
Coop, it's
You're
his
making it's
knee.
getting worse.
he did.
You're
He posted
making it
that.
worse, Steve.
I'm not making it worse. I'm just
You are,
observing it.
because you're making it worse for me because
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Coop-
think that this guy has some mental
Coop, you've been-
issues, and yet he has
No.
the wherewithal to
Yeah.
tweet that.
Well, I tend to agree with you. I think he's, and I don't mean mental issues as bad, like, he's, maybe it is, I don't know, but he's got something in him that a lot of athletes can have where big moments you shrink a little bit. You don't want to be you get a little stage fright type of a deal in big moments.
Sphincteritis.
It's something like that, and that he's been struggling this year, down on his luck. His knee's been bothering him. Whether you believe it or not, his knee has been bothering him. Now a lot of guys are trying to play through it, but here's the question, and so I think that there's like a mental block there, but you can't be manifesting in these ways.
No,
so
but
here's what I would do.
You show up to
That's
the
my point.
ballpark at 1 o'clock
Yeah.
and you say, "My knee's freaking killing me."
Or I need to see a psychiatrist. I've
Yeah.
seen ball players
That's
have
what
to
I'm
go
saying,
see
yeah.
psychiatrists.
Baseball players do it all the time because
Yeah.
it's such a mental game. They're the first ones to really do it. And then it went into football. Used to be weak if you would do that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But now football players have regularly meetings with sports psychologists and stuff like that.
And here's the deal.
Yeah.
Now the team, the manager, the general manager, and the player, they'll protect you. Because but you've already communicated the issue you're having, so now they're trying to get you the help you need.
Right,
All right, that's what families
Yeah.
do. That's what teams do.
right.
Well,
Right?
because the Diamondbacks are investing $16 million a year in him, they're going to give him every resource.
No, look,
to
they don't-
make sure he can get out on that field.
Right now, he's not getting paid, and he's
I
not
know.
going to get
No,
paid the
that's
balance
true.
of the season.
You can
So
pay
he's
him
not
on the
cost-
restricted list.
He's not. Huh?
You can pay him on the
But you
restricted
don't
list.
have
I
to.
know. So that's what we got to find out next. Are the Diamondbacks paying him?
Well, look.
You still get recruit time and all of that
Steve,
stuff.
You're too kind-hearted.
Yeah.
You're too kind.
No, they shouldn't be paying him, but that's what I want to find out, Coop. Are they paying him or not? Because that'll tell you something else. My last question on this subject, because I'm just beyond angry at
I'm
the
very
Marte
angry.
thing. I know you're manifesting it better than I would, because I got to keep calm or else it'll be a thing. Is this a situation where the leadership of this team, do they go to Torey Lovello and Mike Hazen and say he can't be a part of this team anymore? Or do the coaching staff go to the team and say, what do you guys want to do with Marte?
Who are the leaders?
Well, to me, that leader is Geraldo Perdomo. I mean, he's the only guy who's shown me.
Do you think
on the
that's
field that
happening?
Well,
No, I meant, do you think the players are going to them saying he can't be part of this or vice versa?
I think the players first wanted to know what the issue was.
Yeah, well, I agree
mean,
with that.
because Corbin said that,
Yeah.
and so even and Perdomo, yeah, I would look if I'm a player, and I had a teammate that did that. I'm like, that dude showed me how much he cared about us.
Right.
So I'm gonna flip to tell you and say I don't want him around. I'm gonna flip the script. I don't want him.
Here's how an injury works. They flew on Sunday afternoon, they flew from Atlanta to Boston.
Mm-hmm.
You're on the plane for 3 hours. You're either playing cards or chit-chat.
Yep.
You might take a little
Absolutely.
nap.
Yep.
You're eating, whatever else you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But you're talking to your buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Coop, man, my freaking knee's starting to kill me, man.
Right.
I don't know what it is, and I'm trying to battle through it, but I can't play with it like that. I'm having a conversation with you about that if you're my close friend.
Right.
And so then all the mystery around it does certainly sound, again, like I said, you're showing up yesterday and you're saying, my knee hurts, I need an MRI, and they don't trust Boston MRI machines, so they send you home. That's a whole different ball game. Then the lineup card's in on time, Everything else goes
Dale?
according, and we're sending him back to Phoenix.
Dale, in my 34 years at working at Channel 12, I called in sick 4 times.
Right.
3 of them were consecutive in year 13. Because I was that dude that even when I was sick, I even showed up.
Yeah.
Because that's what's been ingrained in me as an athlete. You show up. And so it's no different for Ketel Marte. Even if your situation that you just described, talking to your best buddy on the team on the flight there, my knees bother me. Dude, you can make that same phone call to Torrey. You can make it to the trainer. Yeah. You can make it to Jim. There's people that you communicate that. Look, I had and I lost, and let me tell you something. The 4th time that I called in sick came in year 34. My executive producer knew that I'd only called in sick 3 times in my 34-year career. He says, "Coop, this is your swan song year. Man, you gotta do it." So I waited till about a month out from my final there, and I called in sick. It was more of a joke, though,
right?
Because we talked about it. We talked, but damn, you're responsible enough. I'm a freaking adult. This dude is a freaking 32-year-old, soon to be 33-year-old man. There's no excuse. But now, I'm not giving him an excuse.
Okay, and
no,
I'm going to throw this out to you too. And again, I'm not anything I say. I'm not making an excuse for what he did.
I know you're not.
But that was probably emulated to you when you were growing up. I know my dad.
Absolutely.
He was a mailman. He retired with a year and a half of sick leave because he never called in sick.
Bingo.
And he always would tell me, "Dale, there's a lot of mornings I got up not feeling good.
Absolutely.
But by the time I rode my bike 5 miles to the post office, I feel a little better. Now I get good. Now I feel a little bit better. Or I could sit around all day feeling sick and feeling sorry for myself." And that was ingrained into me. I never missed a full day of school. And so some of it was emulated to you. And again, I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just trying to make reason in my head for him to act like this.
By the way, Enrique Rojas is now saying he is coming to Arizona for an MRI on his knee. If I can't read the whole thing in Spanish, but I picked out those words here on his post here as well. So
that's all fine and good. I have no problem with him that's not the issue.
Right.
Him coming back with the knee.
I'm just telling you, it's a cover up. It's just an excuse to get him out of Boston. They couldn't have brought him back today or tomorrow. They just couldn't have.
I tell you what, like the Diamondbacks, they generally have like a little pregame show that I never really.
You'll be watching it today?
Make it a part of my viewing habits when I sit down and watch the game. Dude, I'll be clicked on from the time that it comes on today.
Coop, yesterday I literally got my 98.7 app on after the game was ending yesterday. I had I was watching the game on MLB.TV. I'm literally just waiting for any word and comments. It was just the ratings for yesterday's post game had to be through the roof because I was listening to everything that I could, trying to listen to it and read between the lines and all that stuff. So it's going to be fascinating to see. We'll have to watch it. Obviously, it hasn't been held right, but at this point I'm more interested in the Diamondbacks' response because. If I was Torey Lovello, as I said, I would go to the team. I would go to the whole team and sit them down and say, "Guys, we know what happened. Here's what's happened here.
Absolutely,
it's happened before. Do you guys want to continue this season with them, or do you not? And let the team.
Now you've gone the wrong way.
Now the team does.
Now you've gone the wrong way.
I would even tell the team.
I'm not leaving it up to the team.
I would even tell the team what I want to do. And then just let them speak.
I'm not going to tell them what I want to do. I'm telling them what I'm doing. This is a situation.
That's not Torey's decision. That's Mike Hazen's decision.
I'm absolving my players of any responsibility in this matter.
That's not how they do it, though.
Well, you know what? Then
if I was Torey.
If that's not how they do it, then they need to change leadership.
Right.
Well,
I'm just
thank
telling
you, Coop.
I'm just telling you.
I've been on that Lovello needs to go bandwagon for a while now, and that's part of the reason why. I just don't like the way he handled yesterday. I would have been in front of that microphone saying he didn't show up. Look, we don't know why. We've got to figure it out, and we'll have more information for you when we got it.
I thought Torey did that.
No,
he communicated to me
he was crying.
that he had very little
he was getting tears in his eyes the more he talked. I wouldn't be crying. I'd be pissed.
I found him trying to protect.
We just love him.
Boy,
okay,
boy.
well, great.
But he was also honest enough to let us know that for us to draw this conclusion, that's unacceptable.
They didn't have, they did not have a choice yesterday. There was going to be no fluff in that yesterday because they would got their heads beat off, chewed off as well.
Torrey, and even if I'm Mike Hazen, I mean, I'm telling Torrey, that's the last straw. He's played his last game for the Diamondbacks. He's played his last game.
Yeah.
That, if I'm
it's
the
when it
general
happens too. It always happens in a big moment. That's where I get frustrated.
And that's sad. But I tell you what, I know they called up Jose Fernandez. They also brought up.
But they were bringing Fernandez up because Arenado is going to end up on the IL.
But now,
so he just happened to be there.
Now I'm letting Hernandez know. Hey, Fernandez, no, you're here to stay.
You're a guy. I agree.
You're here to stay, and this would be great experience for you going forward.
Yeah. I want to see the young guys. I'm just tired. This drama is bad enough, but I'm tired of this drama when you're in a playoff chase. It's even worse at that point, and that's what makes me angry. If this was April, I might feel differently about it. But you're in the middle of a playoff chase. You're being unfair to this team.
Well, it's a combination of not only when it happened, but how many times it's happened.
That's the other side of it.
Hey, good point.
Really quick, any other comments? And we'll obviously learn more, and we'll keep it in our thoughts. But I want to see how this team rebounds today. Yesterday, I mean, they had no chance yesterday with all this news and wonderment.
It clearly bothered them because the Diamondbacks, watching the broadcast over the weekend, and I found out that they lead the majors, all of baseball, in fewest errors committed. Yeah. They had 45 total. And yet yesterday we saw a couple of errors that
dropping balls.
I mean,
balls hitting him in the glove and just falling.
And clearly, I think
they're distracted.
Their energy level was down, and so normally when this team, when things start snowballing for this team, they usually kind of fight their way back. There was no fight.
Yeah. Oh no, they just look lackluster, rightfully so, by the way. And then when I saw Perdomo and Carroll talk after the game, I was like, yeah, I get it. Really quick as we go to break here, ESPN founder Bill Rasmussen passed away today, 93 years old, but he's the one that had the great vision. Imagine how crazy people looked at him when he was like, I want a 24-hour cable sports network.
Coop and I were of age.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. It's just people have been like, you want to do what? He passed away today, 93 years old for him as well. And Calais Campbell spoke today for the first time since, of course, his family tragedy with his mom and his brother out there. Yeah. I obviously didn't go into details, but he asked for prayers to keep coming in.
Even then, even in that situation, it was let known that his brother had some mental health issues. And to find out, look, I know Calais, I know some people. I mean, I don't even know if I want to say it, but
it's known that his brother definitely had some demons he was fighting mentally and things to that effect when it went that route. But Calais Campbell is out there saying that stuff. And when we come back, let's talk a little NFL. I asked Dale yesterday about rookie injuries. I didn't get to do any research last night because of the Marte situation. Just kind of threw everything in wrinkles as we're looking into that.
Jordan.
That's the other guy I want to talk about. His NFL career is going to be short-lived, right? Come on back, folks. Main event. We're back here with Bruce Cooper. Drink some water there. Went down the wrong pipe.
Are you going to tell me that the Valley can't have nice things?
Yeah, that's pretty much what we're talking about today. Let me get caught up here on some comments here. Let's see who's getting roasted here, Marte or us here as well, kind of deal. Autumn said Cardinals used the injury thing to keep Kyler off the field last season too. Remember when he took the ball off his face and had a foot injury?
He showed up.
But he did. He kept showing up and all of that stuff. Everybody liked your comment about dude embarrassed himself, Coop, as well. Robert says D-backs built this monster and now they're panicking. I actually agree with that take a lot. They allowed it to go and go and go, and now they're like,
they're always hoping it's going to be the last one. They thought the All-Star game last week, they worked their way through, and they thought that was the last time.
Yeah, Ann says, I want to have a candid conversation with Arenado and McCann to know their thoughts, as I believe they were part of the story that broke earlier this season. Yeah, we came to the conclusion here a veteran leaked that story to Bob Nightingale earlier this year. We know last year Suarez and Naylor had problems with Marte, and a lot of people speculate it's one reason why they were so quick to ship him out of town. But it's a veteran. The veterans are the ones that have the issue with it and stuff to that. But I watched Corbin Carroll yesterday, and he looked pissed while he was talking. You know, he didn't look concerned. He just looked mean, which he's got kind of a mean look onto his face to begin with, right? That he's dealing with on that side. Robert said Bickley won't answer. And when Dale said, I'm going to call Bickley, he's trying to get the next Top Gun movie. He always calls him Kelly McGillis, as well. Autumn says, he posted I thought it was right before the game. He posted the Corbin Carroll weekly award thing to his IG 2 hours before the game yesterday, just to make the correction there
2
as well.
But he wasn't at the ballpark.
Yeah, but he wasn't at the ballpark when he did it. And then Ann says, if I was Ken Kendrick, I would say no more, and we're not paying him due to breach of contract.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with that. If they move him off of that list, you're going to see me get even angrier. Yeah. You keep him on that. But then it comes down to they can pay him on that list. I want to know if they're paying him or not. And things to that effect. You got to send the message.
What happens if he comes back and he's got a torn ACL?
Well, that's the question, right?
No, there's no question.
That means he's out for the rest of the year.
There's no excuse for not being able to communicate your problem.
I'm with you.
Even if the leg was to be decapitated.
Yeah, they're gonna come.
No excuse.
No, they're gonna come back and be like, "Oh my God, how is he even standing? This thing was damaged 3 months ago. He shouldn't even have been out there playing, folks." I could just see where that's going as well, coming down the mix. But two things I want to talk about with you, Coop. One, obviously you're a big Arizona State fan, covered them for a lot of years, but Jordan Tyson, one of the best receivers prospects to come here from Colorado, ended up coming here and everything, and just injury prone here with those hamstrings. Gets drafted by the Saints. What was it? Eighth overall. Eighth overall. Goes to the Saints here, and now we're finding out 2 months minimum away from the Saints because of, I think this is the other hamstring, right?
Yes.
Not the same one.
Yeah.
But another hamstring injury. It's just terrible with the talent this kid has that he cannot stay healthy.
Yeah, look. The Saints had two of our Valley quarterbacks fighting it out to see who would be the starter. Well,
Shocking.
Yeah, they gave the job to Spencer Rattler with Tyler Shuck backing up. Shuck replaced Tyler, and he actually had a strong finish to the season. So what the Saints decided says, hey, I think this may be our next Drew Brees or our next franchise quarterback, rather. I won't say that. And they said, so he has one good receiver in Chris Olave. We're going to go get him a second receiver. And so Jordan Tyson, they look at the draft, and I don't know where he ranked on their board, but Carnell Tate from Ohio State was the first receiver off the board, went 4 to Tennessee after Cardinals took Jeremiah Love at 3. So the Saints now at 8. I felt there were 3 first-round receivers in this draft. Tate, Tyson, and Mekhi Lemon from USC in no particular order. But I tell you what, I like Mekhi Lemon extremely well because of his competitive nature. This dude got upset if it was 4th and 10, the ball's not coming his way. He got upset if the game's on the line and the ball's not coming. I want that type of guy. All right. Now with Jordan Tyson, I mean, if you're trying to teach someone how to run routes, Tyson's your poster boy. I mean, he is exquisite. I mean, he breaks ankles. He runs them extremely well. But, Dale, from the time he left Colorado with injury issues, we already knew that he had some injury issues as a member of the Colorado Buffaloes when he hit the transfer portal and came to Arizona
That was
State.
his problem between
Now,
him and
yeah,
Dion.
Yeah. Now,
when Dion came in. When Dion came in. Yeah.
Now, give the Hall of Famer, the great Hines Ward, a lot of credit. I mean, he actually helped refine his act. And so Tyson was one of the best receivers in the entire draft, in entire college football. And we saw the connection between him and Sam Levitt, the quarterback. He was all of that. And so then you got to the point that, well, it was like, well, that's all the Sun Devils have. They don't have anyone outside of Jordan Tyson.
Yeah.
Because he made all the big plays. All the big throws came his way. And so you thought that, well, gee, ASU's doing a horrible job recruiting. Well, Sam Levitt trusted his dude because if you put in his area code, he's going to come down with it. Right. You have Scatterboo you can turn around and hand it off to or even swing it out to, but it's Tyson you're going downfield with. And so that led ASU all the way to the college football playoff. And yet they did so the last 3 or 4 games without Tyson again. Why? Because he had that hamstring issue, and the year before that, it was a collarbone break, the end of the season. So he has clearly an injury history attached to him. And so I heard you say, based on that, you would not have drafted him in the first round.
No.
And look, that was a concern of mine. The reason why I said, look, if I was going to draft a receiver in this draft, it was going to be Mekhi Lemon. And the reason I eliminated Tyson was because of his injury history.
Yeah. Now you take a flyer on him in the second round. He's got first-round talent. If he stays healthy, you hit a home run. But,
he's got first-round talent.
Well,
there's no question about it.
Yeah, the problem that I had with him was, we're in April and he's still not working out. You get to the 3 weeks before the draft is when you finally see him go work out, and it was like, man, they're worried about that hamstring, about him pulling it again. It's just sad when a guy with that much talent just can't figure it out. And I don't know, and I'm a believer of, if you continue to have those soft tissue issues, and now it's in the other leg, not the other one, it just goes to tell me you're just, the way your body's set up, the way you run, he's going to have to change his style for this to stop happening to him. And I don't know if you can do that.
No, you can't. You can't change that. But I will say that this, I was also surfing around. I believe I was on the Cardinals website and I saw this. We know the Cardinals have had a history of number 1 draft picks who've been hurt all the time.
Especially defensive linemen.
Yeah, absolutely. Darius Robinson, and we saw Walter.
This is my question I want to bring up to you. I brought up to Dale yesterday, so finish your thought and then keep in mind all these injuries.
They put up a graphic about this year's draft choices. First round pick, Jeremiah Love, out, high ankle sprain.
Yep.
Second round pick, Chase Basantes, out for the season, torn MCL. Third round pick, Carson Beck, out, bruised ribs. Fourth round pick, Caleb Proctor, defensive lineman.
Didn't even make it to
the
training
season,
camp. Yeah,
torn meniscus. I'm like, dang, are the Cardinals really jinxed when they draft a player? I mean, for crying out loud, people, this is like.
Well, of all of them, the easiest one to explain away is the Basantes. That's going to happen. People fall on people, and it's just horrendous luck. But go ahead, Steve. You had a question.
Well, the question is this. So you go back to Walter Nolan, you go back to Robinson the year before. Now, I was going to sit down last night. That's actually what I was doing when the Marte news kind of broke. I got back home. I was going to do this research. I haven't done it yet. But is there something with college players, with the way they get drafted, with the draft, with the combine, and then the draft? Can we extrapolate something to where they're not ready to be, I'm going to call it big boy hits when they get up here to the NFL level? A lot of rookies, especially in the Cardinals case, we'll speak to that because that's the info I have in front of me. They just always get banged up and injured. Some of them flukes, but they're always coming in injured. Is this a onus around the league for these rookies coming in?
Well, I mean, look, I don't know that I can necessarily say that because we still have people who wind up being offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year, and they fill out these first and second team all rookie teams, be it on offense or defense. And so there are a number of rookies who do complete the season. But I don't know. It just seems like all of a sudden there's this dark cloud that hovers over the Cardinals relative to rookies.
Yeah.
Look, now the other rookies you're talking about. I mean, like in a case of like,
well, I mean, Jordan Tyson's obviously in
but
choice.
he has a history there.
Yeah.
So there's not any breaking news. He has a history, and so the Saints took a gamble on that.
Yeah, but I mean, Kansas City Chiefs, their first, I think there was their first, but he's a rookie. He ends up having, I think a bruised shin is what they said it was.
That's
obviously, but Luther Burden, a left groin injury, and and stuff like that.
These are things that come with the physicality of the game, and so I look more for those injuries that keep you out for, like in Tyson's case, 2 months, or like in Proctor's case or in Bassani's case, they're out for the year. I mean, I look for those kinds of things.
Panthers rookie Chris Brazell to miss the entire season with his knee injury that he got this year. I think he had a
torn ACL.
Chiefs cornerback Mansour Delane, shoulder. Well, he had shoulder surgery in the offseason as well. But linebacker Jimmy Rolder for the Lions out for a while as a rookie there. I already told you about Cyrus Allen. These are just names off the top of Jets cornerback D'Angelo Pons. Oh no, I'm sorry, he's not hurt. He just sucks. Never mind. From that side, but no, I know it's not, but it's a Cardinal thing. But I just sit here and wonder: is it the physicality when you get up to the NFL because they're not footballing right? They're bulking up for the combine and the draft to be their best and everything. And I'm just inquiring if getting ready for the NFL season is not the priority and kind of catching them off guard a little bit.
I don't know. It might be that.
But then again, Breece Hall, right?
Too many. Like in Dale's day, they didn't have any these non-shoulder pad days. Man, I remember those in the Cardinals camp early on. They would have morning practice, shorts and t-shirts or whatever, shorts and pads, and then in the afternoon, full pads. I mean, you're going at it.
Right.
I mean, this is.
Well, Dale talks about they reported and you were in pads like first practice, right?
The very next morning you're doing inside run, but there is a difference, obviously, in mentality. You can't do that anymore. I just laugh my ass off, Coop, is all these people saying, "Why was Jeremiah Love playing?
Yeah.
Why did he carry the ball 14 times? Why did he carry the ball? He's a rookie. This would be the only game he played anyway."
Well, look. The ankle sprains and things like that happen. I mean, he could have suffered that on the first carry.
It was a drop tackle that are illegal that got him and messed up his ankle.
Okay, look, it's nothing serious. He'll play this year. I mean, I guess there's reports of high ankle sprain, and anybody's had a high ankle sprain knows how those things can linger. But look, if there was a lot of people, and keep in mind, I came out. I told you guys I do my draft for the Cardinals every January. I put it out before the Super Bowl game. Jeremiah Love was my guy. I made no mistake about it. We talked about it in the draft leading up, blah, blah, blah. And there was a lot of local people that are writing, oh, this guy, it's a mistake. You don't pay a running back. I mean, they got into the economics of this whole deal.
Yeah.
And so now there's a lot of doubt in Cardinal fans' minds based on articles they're reading relative to this. So the Cardinal fans want to see this guy. He passed the eye test. I mean, they saw something that they clearly didn't know about. So this dude is different.
No,
they saw the elusive. They saw the breakaway speed. They saw the spin move. They saw this guy is a different. So now all of a sudden, even people who were writing these negative articles about how the Cardinals blew it. I mean, there's you could found a running back in the fifth round, a free agent. But you don't find one that's a difference maker like this dude.
You don't. And Coop, this is how much it's changed. I told Steve this story either yesterday or last week when the injury came out. The fact that I distinctly remember we're going to we ended up going to the Super Bowl of the year, 92. Last regular season game, we're playing the Bears. Had nothing to gain or lose. Jimmy started the first team. They played the entire first half. Take the first team out in the second half. The second team's playing really, really bad. Guess what? Troy Michael Emmett go back in the second half of the fourth quarter in the last game of the regular season without anything to gain. And Nobody complained about it back then. It's just he was fed up with how the backups were playing and said, screw this, we're not going to the playoffs looking like this. And today, you can't even play a guy in the preseason without receiving criticism.
Yeah, hey, look. I'm with Mike LaFleur. Mike. I have no problem with you giving the Love the ball 14 times. It was an unfortunate thing that took place, and I understand from you. You said it happened on the last carry.
Yeah, or I think it might have been a second. I can't remember, but it was one of the last ones. Yeah, it's a hip drop tackle.
Look. Unfortunately, that happened, but I guarantee you. Coming out of that game, I saw more national write-ups about Jeremiah Love, the electricity, excitement. Now all of a sudden, the Cardinals, who had this 0-17 in terms of it was the betting lines. All of a sudden, now the narrative's flipped. Right. There's positive things coming out.
Well, it's around the whole offense.
Now the Cardinals have some really good dynamic playmakers around there. I mean, they could really surprise. But hey. We don't really feel that good about their defense. But this offense, they got some play. That came out of Jeremiah Love running the ball 14 times. Look, you can't have it
Carson Beck's first game, too, kind of led to that as well.
Well, a quarterback's having a 92 quarterback rating out of 100.
Well, let me tell you something. Every Cardinal quarterback. I mean, if you go Gardner Minshew, if you go to Jacoby Brissett, I mean, they have all played well. I mean, Keaton Slovis, he's not getting the same reps, but Keaton's looks good. Yeah, he looks There's good. Not a single quarterback out there who's looked bad in his first two preseason
Either the
games.
Receivers. They're going to be cutting receivers that look like they can catch anything thrown to them. They're going to be cutting running backs that look like they're finding holes right now on top of it.
Let me tell you something. I've already got look. If the Cardinals, at some point you got to listen to me. At some point you got to listen to me.
Well, they did. They draft Love.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to give you Jordan Love, Tyler Algier, and I know that people are in love with James Conner, and I would say at the time, Algier and Conner are the same dude, but I don't have a problem. Conner's a great locker room guy. Yeah. He's a great effort guy, but then you also keep Bam Knight. There's no such thing as I'm only running 3 running. No, you're keeping all 4 of those guys. Now, wide receiver, like you said, we're having some problems now. Yeah. We're having some problems, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's good because I'm gonna tell you something. Because we already know that Marvin Harrison, Michael Wilson, and Kendrick Bourne, those 3 are locked.
I'm
tell you something.
Fehoko
I'm
making it too.
I'm tell you something. Jalen Brooks, number 86, this dude. He's already made the roster as far as I'm concerned. He doesn't need to prove to me anything more.
He's got to be good at special teams.
No. He's making my roster.
What about Fakou?
Get the 5.
For Hoko, look. All he does is catch touchdowns.
Yeah, he looks good.
No, look.
Well, he's got to stay healthy. He's been injured the last couple of years.
Yeah, I like him as well. Look. The Cardinals generally have kept 6 wideouts.
Yeah,
and so I just mentioned 5.
Well, don't forget their tight end room is stacked too.
Well, there's
and Tip Ryman's not even back yet.
Look. I'm telling you, I understand that LaFleur likes 4 tight ends.
Yeah.
I can only think of, if you want to call Tip Ryman and keep him around, there's only 2 on that roster that I even trust.
But he's going to start on the IL, so yeah.
So I mean, Trey McBride and Elijah Higgins, and if you try to tell me there's someone else behind them that's caught my eye, you're lying. No. Nobody else.
Really? That one tall dude making some catches in that Raiders game.
There's no one that has caught my eye in that tight end room.
I got one more thing for you regarding football here. Are you surprised? I know you're not, but Carter Boley and Mikey Keene. Kenny Dillingham finally came out after Tonazona over the weekend, and he said they've separated themselves from the rest of the group, but he is not pulling the trigger on Cutter Boley here to be the starting quarterback for ASU. I know you said Mikey Keene was going to be the guy.
I said,
you get more confident?
Way back when they got, and look, I saw some highlights from the spring, the maroon and gold game Saturday up in Tonazona, and you know what really surprised me? They had some option plays that Boley kept, option keepers. Dude, I was surprised at his ability to run the football.
Okay.
That may change a little bit. You know, my thinking. I mean, I didn't.
Yeah, because that's why you like Keene, right? Because he can run it if he needs to.
I like Keene from this standpoint. I like his accuracy.
He's from
I
here,
like
folks.
his poise, and I like his ability to get outside the pocket and throw accurately. Well, he's not necessarily a big runner of the football, but he can run. Well, it's friggin' Boley. I mean, he shocked me from what I've seen. I didn't see that in any of the games that I saw in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Right.
But I said, well, that was interesting. I'll just put it like that. That was interesting.
The one thing that I will say about you, having known you now for 25 years,
Something like that.
You come out swinging with your opinions. You usually have strong opinions. You're right a lot of times. You're wrong a lot of times.
Absolutely.
But you have no problem taking a step back and go, maybe I missed that one. Maybe I missed on that one. Maybe, and again, I don't know who they're going to pick. I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to ASU. I will now that they're back.
Right. And
Well, here's my question. Could you see a scenario against Morgan State where Boley gets to start and then Mikey Keene gets into that game, barring on the score or something to that effect?
If ASU doesn't blow them out to the point to where you're playing both quarterbacks,
you got A&M next up.
Something's wrong already.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I saw that they released the rankings, and A&M I saw was number 8. Yeah, I'm like, okay. Well,
I was going, ASU's going to compete with A&M. It's going to be a tough place to win, and then they're coming out with their preseason rankings, and I'm all, maybe not. Maybe they're looking ahead of London and Kansas.
Those preseason rankings mean nothing to me.
I know.
It just means that they got a lot of hype around them, and when they fall, then that hype's gone.
But I don't care if A&M is expected to be a 500 team. They have to go to College Station.
It's really do. That's the place to play.
They're going to be hit with some crowd noise and things that hit them that they've never seen before.
Yeah. And I know ASU as a football program went there when Kyler Murray was a freshman there, and so was Kyle Allen from Desert Mountain.
Oh, that's right.
Kyle Allen was running.
And that game went down to the.
But that was in
quarter.
Dallas, wasn't it? I think that was at a neutral field.
Oh, I don't remember.
I could be wrong on that. That was when they wore those fire helmets.
I just know it was a road game for you. Yeah. And the game went down to the fourth quarter. Some dude named Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
Some dude named Christian Kirk.
I want to say that was in Dallas. I want to say that was a neutral game.
From the Valley. He wound up being the difference maker in that game.
Hey, A&M is so serious about their football coop. They have midnight yell practice on Friday
It's just
night.
so they can learn their complicated chants.
They get about 50,000 fans in the stadium and do nothing but cheers and chants for about an hour.
Jeez.
Yeah. So they're ready to go.
I like their tradition of kissing after touchdown better. Shoot.
I don't like the standing during the whole game, but there's some.
They're maniacal if they do that. I hadn't heard that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, but I don't know. I'm getting the impression with the quarterback side, with obviously not being there because they practice while we're here and stuff like that. But I get the impression it's one of those things where it's like, all right, Boley, we're going to keep giving you chances to win this thing.
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah,
let's do this. Because otherwise, from what I'm hearing and seeing, Mikey Keene, he's made some mistakes, but it's almost like people are like, well, that guy's kind of won it. So I wonder if the coaching staff's kind of leaning that way a little bit.
Yeah, I think when you put a quarterback under center and how he directs that offense, how he commands that huddle, how he leads the team down the field, how he's accurate, how he eliminates turnovers, that puts Mikey Keene at the top. But if Boley is coming in and he likewise isn't turning the ball over, but he's showing more physical, because you already knew he had the stronger arm.
Yeah, he's a bigger dude.
But if he's showing an ability to escape, an ability to run, that's a whole new dynamic.
The way I look at it, you saw the way that Sam Levitt, before he quit on the team, and the way he played here, I think Boley's more of that type of a quarterback than Mikey Keene. I think that's the quarterback they want. I think that's what they're looking towards.
Yeah,
and why they're trying to push
and
that
here's
way.
the deal. Keene's a senior, and Boley has at least 2 years of eligibility left.
But you're paying him a lot of money, Coop.
and they would be paying him a lot more money than they're paying Mikey Keene, no doubt. And if he doesn't get that job, he doesn't win that job. Oh yeah. But here's the deal. That's okay, because I've already said Jake Fetty is their future.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt about that.
Coop,
Everybody's saying
real
that.
quick, and that's a really lost art and people don't pay attention to it. But I always used to look at, we had a third string quarterback named Jason Garrett in Dallas through the 90s.
Number 17.
Yep. He had to start probably 4 games, 4-0, because he's a third string quarterback. But I used to marvel at him, the fact that I don't care if he's leading the threes looked organized. They look crisp. They look sharp. The twos, same thing. And all of a sudden, he gets in there with the ones. Guys are making catches that they don't normally make. There was a response to him in the huddle. And that's something you can't measure. You can measure arm strength. You can measure running ability. Can't measure your impact on the offense in the huddle. But so something to keep an eye on.
All right.
Leaving it there?
I agree.
All I'm going to say leave the show here with the Marte situation. All I'm going to say is the baseball injury is coming, folks. The dreaded 60-day injured list is coming with some excuse.
Yeah, well, let me put it to you like that. If the Diamondbacks, if they did that, like I said, now they have to pay the dude. If they just simply keep him on the restricted list, they don't have to play him, and I'm not paying him.
Because while you guys were talking right there, I was just scrolling through Twitter and all the people reporting. Everybody's reporting. We've been told by sources. The Diamondbacks are saying Marte's healthy. Marte's healthy, everybody. Marte's healthy. MRI for the knee. Okay.
Well, but see, they're losing the big picture here. They're losing the big picture. It doesn't matter if he's healthy or he's not healthy. The dude was a no-show, and he didn't communicate his no-show.
Yeah,
that's the issue. That's what I'm not. That's why I'm not.
And it wasn't the first time.
Well, okay, yeah, you had the time.
I wonder if his house was broken into this time. That's been the problem. Hey guys, appreciate it. Coop joins us every Tuesday, folks. Be back next year. We're closer to a NFL start to the season, ASU start to the season, Wildcats start to the season.
Yeah.
I was down in Tucson all weekend long, and not a lot of talk down there about the Arizona Wildcats.
Well, and they're just asking, is it basketball?
That's the thing. A lot of Lute Olson murals, and their head coach now that I just forgot his name, and things like that. Come on back tomorrow, folks. 8 a.m. here on YouTube. Come and join us.